You mentioned impunity as a key factor that fuels into the continuation of the phenomena, and you mentioned sanctions as a possible measure to stop this killing, or at least to sanction certain states. What is the influence of states? What is the responsibility of states in that phenomenon? Is it something between a man and a woman, or is feminicide something that the state has a responsibility on?
It's a state responsibility. The killings of any citizens, it's a state responsibility in terms of their due diligence obligations under international law, under regional human rights law, to prevent, to protect, to punish perpetrators and to provide reparations to victims of violence. It is a state responsibility. The failure of the state in their responsibility to prevent and protect is actually a failure on the part of the state to protect their citizens. And it violates citizenship rights of women when the state's response is ineffective or non-existent.
Are certain women particularly vulnerable? Is the crisis responsible for the phenomenon?
I think women generally are vulnerable, but there are certain categories based on race, ethnicity, sexual orientation and gender identity, based on location, geographic location. Do you live in an urban area? Do you live in a rural area? That are particularly vulnerable, not only because there's a lack of accountability and a lack of scrutiny of what goes on in certain parts of a country, but also the lack of services, the lack of access to justice is part of the reality of certain women's lives. And they are particularly migrant women, Roma women in Italy that I saw as well. So I think there are categories of people, and I don't like the term vulnerable because I think that's makes us think about charity and with people that need to be rescued. It's not about rescued, it's about effective citizenship of people. And so based on either your social location, your geographic location, or some bodily integrity aspect, there are certain categories of women that are targeted more than others.